Okay, hello everybody. Hello, welcome back to the channel. So, normally I plan out these things. I make little notes, and I'm kind of like I'm gonna touch on this, I'm gonna touch on that, and everything. But it's been kind of crazy. It is actually 2:21 in the morning, on the 12th. So this video will go out on the 13th. So, if you looked at the thumbnail, we're talking about certifying with Liveops for my very first client. So, this actually is the second time I have contracted with Liveops. They started back in 2000 out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and I contracted with them independently, and it was just for the infomercial direct response line. And I quit, got divorced, moved, went health problems and everything. So I have thought about recontracting with them, but I thought you needed a landline phone. And I'm like, I'm not getting a landline phone. But over and over, I met up with some people who have been with Liveops for a very long time. They're like, you know what? Most clients don't need that landline phone. And I was like, okay, well, let's go ahead and do this. If you all have seen the last couple of videos, not the Q&A, but the couple of videos before that, I've got some health problems. And I have to routinely see doctors, which makes it hard to have that 9 to 5, 8 to 4 job. And if you've been looking for work from home, finding a second shift or overnight shift is difficult. So, I do set my own schedule here with Liveops. They are open 24-ish, sort of almost 24/7. And the client is a retail store, the client that I am in certification for now. And certification is Monday through Friday, and it is for 2 weeks of certification and then 1 week of nesting, taking calls, and then you're on production. The store's peak times are the afternoons, evenings, and the weekends. So that is when call volume is a little high. And that suits me just fine because I'm in Central Time, guys, and I want to work 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Friday, and then a little Saturday, a little Sunday. It just kind of goes with everything else that I'm doing. So, I did day 1 today. Well, yesterday, because today's Tuesday that I'm filming this. But Monday was my day 1. There were 2 options. There was an AM class and a PM class. And I went to the PM class, but I will be going to the AM class Tuesday and then back to the PM class Wednesday and moving on from there. I will be getting new glasses. So in about, I don't know how long the frames, it'll take them to do the frames. So in about a week or so, you will see me with new and different glasses. So I did need to go ahead and do that. I haven't had an eye exam in about 3-4 years. And I'm diabetic, so, the eyes. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the expectations. So last Friday on the 8th, and remember today is the morning of the 12th, they opened up the self-learning. So there's 2 components. There's a 3-hour live session class, and then self-learning. Self-learning can take long time, short time, whatever. So the first day, the e-learning for day 1, I did it the weekend before, and it took about, I'd say 2.5 hours to do that. And then I did the e-learning day 2, and that took 2.5 hours. I've already skipped ahead and did day 3, and that was only 45 minutes. So it greatly, greatly depends on everything that you're doing. Take notes, okay? Because on day 9, there is a final assessment, and you have to pass it. So they have assessments with most of your e-learning, and while you can retake those assessments, I'm not sure about the final assessment. Somebody said the final assessment on day 9 was 50 questions. And there's a lot to go over. So the retail client isn't somebody I usually buy from. They're a high-end store. And I just I was like, looking around. We looked around at the website. We did a scavenger hunt today. We talked about the types of calls that customers are calling in about, questions about items, questions about info, help with their order. We talked about our support options. We talked about call types. So there are a lot of systems. There's about 3 or 4 different systems we'll be going in between to help the customer. Say, for example, a customer did an order online, and they're like, oh no, I need to cancel this item, or I need to add this item. Are we able to do it? And sometimes that's a yes, and sometimes that's a no. They may ask a question, ask the material of a shirt. Is that 100% cotton? Is it pre-shrunk? So you'd be able to look and find the different things that are there about that. We talked about order actions, item actions, the 2 fulfillment types. We talked about vendor partnerships, the shipping calls, shipping options. I'm looking through my notes here for the day. Tracking info, shipping times, how to handle international orders, the order process. So we got to know each other. There are people in my class. Well, first thing, when I got into the class, there was right around 100 people. And they broke down into about 3 or 4 different breakout rooms because we went on Zoom. And there was about, I think, 33 people in my breakout room. And, hey guys. So we got to know each other a little bit. Where you're from, what you're doing. We have not gotten into all of the systems. We went into Okta, OKTA, the Liveops. Learned about Liveops Nation, which I already knew about. And we found our Liveops ID numbers. So we do have that. And we learned about some basics on e-learning, some basics on challenges. We learned a lot about Liveops as a company. And then we got into the retail client. And that was a little more exciting. Like I said, it wasn't a place that I shopped at myself. I'm very much, this came off Amazon. I've got dresses in about 10 different colors. They're easy to clean, nice basic fabric, and works. So I was looking at the different items that they had, how to find an item number, how to find sizes, is it this, is it that, things like that for the retail client. And there were a lot of questions. So they did have, like, he would explain some things, question time, explain some things, question time, and then a big Q&A at the end. So we were in class, I'm in Central Time, so the class was 4 to 7. About 6:25, we did our class attendance quiz, and then he did a Q&A for the last 30 minutes. And that's kind of how things are going. Now, if you take, like I attended the evening class, So I can attend either mornings or evenings. You don't have to attend all evenings or all mornings. Because, like I said, tomorrow, later today, I am going to get my eyes examined and get new frames. And I'm hoping um, I know the frames will be in before I, take on the client. But they do not require two monitors, but they highly suggest it. And I do have two monitors. So, and they talked about different places to get a monitor: thrift store, rent to own place, the Goodwill, Salvation Army, places like that. Facebook Marketplace, you can get a cheap one. You can also use an older TV if you've got the HDMI, VGA cables. So there was that. So looking back, Liveops Nation has a discussion board. I am also on 3 different Liveops Facebook groups. So let's talk a little bit about the takeaway. It is a lot. Now, we are talking about a ton of information. If you do not take notes, you are not going to pass the assessments. Listen, if you do not take notes, you will not pass the assessment. There are assessments throughout, and there's the 9-day assessment. We're looking into like Gladly, and some other things, and you have to learn how to work that. You have to know that you click here, you click there, you add that. This is how you disposition a call. So there was a lot of that for day 2 e-learning. There was a lot about going through the website. There's a lot about the website's membership club. So there was a lot of information about that. There is, you can do this at this level of membership. You don't do that at that level of membership. You're required to spend this much. So it was very, very, very involved. And like I said, because I do not shop with this retailer, I was not familiar. It's a high-end retailer, so it was not something that I was like, oh, I can drop $400 for a Coach bag, which they had Coach bags. And I was like, Coach bag. Becky has a Coach bag. Becky would like a second Coach bag. So we will see. So back to the training. Training certification is 10 days, and then, so 2 weeks of training, and the 3rd week is nesting. Hang on just a minute. Okay. Gotta have that diet soda. Oh my goodness. Talking at 2:34 in the morning. So you need to be prepared. Towards the end of training, we will be taking a live phone call. So we'll be in a breakout room, maybe with other people, and maybe it's like between 2 and 2:30. The commits, which are the time frames that you sign up to take calls, are 30 minutes long each commit. And this client requires a minimum of 18 commits. I'm looking to spend about 25 commits a week, maybe thereabouts. So we will kind of see. And I've been told that the call volume is steady. Now, calls will be lasting around 5 minutes or so. I mean, it'll be a little longer when you first get on there and you're looking through at stuff. But after you get, your feet in traction, calls are, thereabouts 5 minutes, 530 seconds or 350 seconds or something like that. And there's just, like I said, a lot to learn. So I am looking forward to continuing on with Liveops. We haven't gone over OpenForce, which is how we submit invoices. And when we do that, I will get into a more in-depth explanation about how we track time, because we are paid on talk time, how we submit it, when we submit it, what the pay cycle looks like. We will get into a lot of that. So if you are interested in joining Liveops, I'll have the link down below. Thank you all. Have a great day.